This is the video for angle relationships. Number one, lines AB and CD. First of all, it's called line AB because the line passes through point A and point B. Same thing for line CD, it passes through point C and point D. So it says lines AB and CD are perpendicular. What does that mean? Lines that are perpendicular meet at a right or 90-degree angle. Right angles are 90 degrees. If two lines are perpendicular, then they meet at a 90-degree angle. So notice the little diagram I drew is the same one that's in the middle, except I only have lines A, B, and CD, and not the third line you see pictured here. Line AB and line CD meet at a 90-degree angle. That's what that little corner thing that I drew is. If you see that in a math diagram, that's the indicator for a right angle, and that's a 90-degree angle. Right angles are 90 degrees. Well, if this angle is 90 degrees, that means every other angle, all four of them, are all 90 degrees. Why? Because AB is a straight line, and these two angles right here, this one on this side of line CD, and this one on this side of CD, those two lines, or those two angles, make the straight line AB. And straight lines are always 180 degrees. So the angles that make them up have to add up to 180. So 90 plus 90 makes 180. Then you have another straight line here. That's 90 plus 90 is 180. Then another straight line that's 90 plus 90 is 180. So long story short, they're all 90 degrees. So this other part right here is 90 degrees. Now, when we look at our diagram, line AB and line CD intersect right there, and they make 90 degrees. And angle 1 and angle 2 then have to add up to 90, because where angle 1 and angle 2 are, those added together has to be 90 degrees. So if angle 1, that's what that little symbol means, it means angle. If angle 1 measures 3x plus 2 degrees and angle 2 measures 28 degrees, what is the value of x? Well, those two angles, angle 1 and angle 2, have to add up to 90 degrees because this is a 90-degree angle. And if I draw a line and goes through them like we have on the diagram, it still is a 90-degree angle. It's just cut up into a couple different pieces. So we've got angle 1 right here and angle 2 right here. They still have to add up to 90. So we just write that their two angles measure and add up to 90. So 3x plus 2, that's angle 1, plus angle 2, which is 28, equal 90 degrees when you add them together. So now we just solve this algebra equation. 3x plus 2 and plus 28 makes plus 30. So 3x plus 30 equals 90. Subtract 30 from both sides and get 3x equals 60. Then divide by 3 on both sides, and we get x equals 20. So there we go, x equals 20. Number 2, in the figure above, the measure of angle A, that's what M little angle symbol A means, measure of angle A. The measure of angle A is 26 degrees, and the measure of angle B equals 2x plus 14. If angles A and B are complementary angles, what are the value of x and the measure of angle B? What does complementary mean? Angle 1 and 2 in the last problem were complementary. Why? Because they added up to 90 degrees. Complementary angles add up to 90 degrees. Okay, so there I went and wrote it down. Complementary angles have a sum of 90 degrees. Remember, sum is what you get when you add things together. Now notice one thing, the word complementary, C-O-M-P-L-E-M-E-N-T-A-R-Y. If you spell complementary C-O-M-P-L-I, that's like somebody who's being complimentary, as in giving you a compliment, telling you look nice. That's being complimentary. But complementary with an E right there between the L and the M is how you spell the mathematical complementary, where two angles that have a sum of 90 degrees are called complementary angles. So that means all we have to do to figure out what x is say that angle A, which is 26 degrees, plus angle B, which is 2x plus 14, equal 90 when we add them together. So let's write that equation. The measure of angle A, 26, plus the measure of angle B, which is 2x plus 14. Because those two angles are complementary, together they equal 90. So now we just solve this equation. 26 and 14 added together make 40, so it's 2x plus 40 equals 90. Subtract 40 from both sides, and we get 2x equals 50. And then we divide both sides by 2, and we get x equals 25. So x is 25. Which one of our answers says x is 25? Two of them do. C and D both equal 25. So we're going to go ahead and now find angle B, because that's the other part of it. If x is 25, then angle B, the measure of angle B, is equal to 2x plus 14. So we say that's 2 times 25 plus 14. 2 times 25 is 50. 50 plus 14 is 64. So the measure of angle B is 64 degrees, and that's our answer right there. All right. Number 3, you got a diagram here. Instructions in the figure above. Quadrilateral ABCD is a parallelogram. Let X represent the measure of angle GBF, Y represent the measure of angle CBE, and Z represent the measure of angle BCE. The value of X, the value of Y, the value of Z. We've got to solve for X, Y, and Z. So let's go back over this. ABCD is a parallelogram. So here's A, B, C, D. That is a parallelogram. That means that CD is parallel to AB. That's very important for this problem because the line GD acts as a transversal. What does that mean? It means it touches both of those parallel lines. A line that connects two parallel lines is called a transversal. Now, X represents the measure of angle GBF. Let's find GBF. GBF. So this small angle right here. Y represents the measure of angle CBE. That's the opposite side. Here we go. CBE. And Z represents the measure of BCE. Here's BC. BCE. So we can find out, because we're going to use the fact that we have parallel lines and the fact that this is a 90-degree angle and the fact that that's a 105-degree angle. Here's how that works. So here's the diagram copied down onto paper, and I put in the X, the Y, and the Z. It says in the problem that X represents GBF. So GBF is right there, X. Y represent the measure of angle CBE. So CBE is that angle there where I put the Y. And finally, Z represent the measure of BCE. BCE. So that's Z right there. So the first thing that you need to understand is that we have parallel lines with AB and CD. You have a transversal in line GD. You also have a transversal in line FE. In other words, if this is a right angle right here, then so is this right angle right here. And this entire thing is a right angle right here. But the cool thing about knowing that that's a right angle is this. That's a right angle. That's 50 degrees. This angle right here, where I'm going to put a little dot, that is the missing third angle of a triangle that has a 90-degree angle and a 50-degree angle. All triangles have angles that add up to 180 degrees. So this angle that's missing has to add up to 180 when you add 50 and 90. So I'm just going to call it N for now. I'll call that angle N. And I can say that N plus 50 plus 90 is equal to 180 degrees. So again, why do we know that? If this is 90 degrees, then this has to be 90 degrees. Two angles that make a straight line have to add up to 180 degrees. So if you have a straight line, that angle is 90. What they call the adjacent angle also has to be 90. So if that's 90, this is 50, and that's the third angle in a triangle. Three angles in a triangle always add up to 180. So we can write that equation. So here we go. 50 plus 90 is 140, so N plus 140 equals 180. Subtract 140 from both sides, N must be 40. So N here, which again, wasn't in the problem, I just made up N. N is 40 degrees. Well, that gives us some information because we have a straight line, GD. GD is made up of three angles. This angle, and this angle. See that the 105-degree angle, the angle we named Y, and the angle we just found to be 40 When we put all three of those together, don't they make a straight line? If angles make a straight line, then they add up to 180 degrees. So 105 plus y plus 40 have to equal 180. Again, anytime you have a straight line, if you break it up into multiple angles, all those angles have to add up to 180 because every straight line is 180 degrees. So now 105 plus 40 is 145. So y plus 145 equals 180. Subtract 145 from both sides, and y equals 35. So that's the first answer we can put in, is that y is 35 degrees. Next, this is 90. We just found out y is 35. Can I do the same thing I did over here and note that I have 2 out of 3 angles in a triangle, and those 3 angles have to add up to 180? You bet. So 90 plus 35 plus z, those 3 angles have to add up to 180. So here we go. Z plus 90 plus 35 has to equal 180 degrees. So collect those together. You have z plus 125 equals 180 degrees. Subtract 125, and this is a z, not a 2. Sometimes my z's look like 2's. Subtract 125 from both sides, and you get z equals 55. So that's the second answer that we can put into the problem. This is 55 right here. Okay, 55 degrees. Lastly, we need x. Oh, well, guess what? We have another straight line. The straight line FE. X, 105, and 35 make that straight line. So those 3 angles have to add up to 180. So again, we can write those 3 things add up to 180. Here we go. X plus 105 plus 35 equals 180. So 105 plus 35. So x plus 140 equals 180. So x equals 40. So this is 40 degrees also. Now, if you've been paying attention, you would have known that already. You didn't need to write this equation. Why? Because we already found that this angle's 40, and this angle is made by the lines FE and GD. Well, the lines FE and GD also make the angle for X. So if you just ignore this line CB for a minute, and if you ignore this line AB for a minute, you're going to get something that looks like this. Let me draw it. All right, so right here are the lines FE and GD, both intersecting at point B. We found out that this angle right here was 40 degrees already. And we were supposed to figure out what this one was, and we called this X. Those are vertical angles. Anytime that 2 lines cross, the angles directly across from each other have to be the exact same size. They both have to be the same. So if you knew that this one was 40, you should have also called this one 40 right away. So did we need this other line coming up this way and knowing that that's 105 and that's 35 and that they all have to add up to 180? No, that's another way to calculate it. But if you saw the vertical angle relationship right away, you could jump straight to the 40-degree answer. So we've got x is 40, y is 35, and z is 55. Let's go ahead and plug those answers in. Here we go. X is 40, y is 35, z is 55. All right, another question. In this picture, the measure of angle XOZ is 68 degrees. So XOZ is 68. That's this whole thing. YOZ, the measure of YOZ is 39. So you notice YOZ kind of fits inside of XOZ, right? YOZ is this part right here, this little tiny one right in here. That's 39. And XOY is 5x plus 16. That's the other little one. What's the value of x? Well, XOY plus YOZ have to equal the whole thing, which is XOZ. So XOY, which measures 5x plus 16, plus YOZ, which is 39, has to equal 68. In this problem, the whole key is noticing that YOZ and XOZ, YOZ and XOY combine together to make XOZ. So let me try and make that a little bit more clear. This might be a bit messy, but here we go. I will write with pink, okay, for the first angle, XOZ is this big old angle right here. It's X to O to Z. So that's angle XOZ. Then you have YOZ. Let me change the color over to this blue one. Y to O to Z. And then finally we have XOY, which I will put in green. We got X, O, Y. So XOY, you see the green one, and YOZ, the blue one, make up together what the pink one makes, XOZ. So the green one plus the blue one have to equal the pink one. So we're just going to write an algebra equation that says that. Okay, here we go. Sorry for the moving my diagram there. You got XOZ is 68, so 68 degrees is equal to YOZ, which is 39, plus 5x plus 16. Because 5x plus 16 is XOY. So there's your equation. Combine like terms, 39 and 16, add those together, you get 68 is equal to 55 plus 5x. Subtract 55 from both sides, and you get 13 is equal to 5x. Divide both sides by 5, and you get 13 fifths, or if you wish, 2 3/5 is equal to x. As a decimal, 3/5 is 0.6, so 2.6 equals x. If you don't like doing fractions, just plug 13 divided by 5 into a calculator. You're going to get 2.6. That's it. Number 5, we've got a big angle here, 100. The little angle is 48. It's asking for the measure of angle MON, which is the missing angle, MON. MON plus 48 have to be 100. What plus 48 equals 100? 52. 100 minus 48 is 52, so 52 plus 48 is 100. So again, MON plus NOP, which is the 48 degree angle, have to add up to make the 100 degree angle, because the 100 degree angle is both of them put together. If angle MOK and angle JOM are supplementary angles. What does supplementary mean? That means they add up to be 180. Complementary angles add up to be 90 degrees. Supplementary angles add up to be 180. So the sum of the angles of supplementary angles is 180 degrees. Okay? So if MOK, what's MOK? MOK. 66 degrees. Okay, so 66 degrees. And JOM. JOM. Ooh, there's no label there. But 66 plus that one is 180. Then what is the value of X and measure of LOK? Well, something you need to realize, again, I mentioned this already, we've got vertical angles here. Anytime two lines cross, the angles that are directly across from each other are vertical angles, and they have to be the same measurement. So JOM is the same as LOK. So when it asks us about JOM, it's the same measure as LOK. So if it measures LOK, if it measures that with, get rid of all that. If it measures LOK and it tells us it's X plus 64, if that angle is X plus 64, then this angle, JOM, also has to be X plus 64. They're the same. And it tells us that it's supplementary, so X plus 64 plus 66 is 180. And that gives us our equation that we write. So let's go ahead and write that one down. We've got X plus 64 plus the 66 equals 180. So 64 and 66, add those together, you get 130. So X plus 130 equals 180. Subtract 130 from both sides, and you get 50. So X equals 50. So what is the measure of LOK? If X is 50, what's 50 plus 64? 114. So X is 50, LOK is 114. Let's do another. Number 7, angle A, angle B, and angle C are complementary angles. The measure of angle A is 24 degrees, the measure of angle B is unknown, and the measure of angle C is twice the measure of angle A. So what's the measure of angle B and what's the measure of angle C? What do complementary angles do? They add up to 180 degrees. So, excuse me, stop. No, complementary. I'm sorry. Supplementary adds up to 180. What do complementary angles do? They add up to 90 degrees. 90. Complementary is 90, not 180. Complementary, 90 degrees. So complementary angles add up to 90 degrees. Complementary angles add up to 90 degrees. Complementary angles add up to 90 degrees. You need to know that. It's also in your lessons. If you read through these lessons, this is page 3 of your study island lesson. It has this little sheet right here for you to keep things nice and organized and easy to reference. So you should have this in the background as you do it. But it says 2 angles are complementary if their sum measures as 90 degrees. Angles that measure up to 90 degrees are complementary. So A, B, and C are complementary, all 3 of them. So measure of angle A is 24 degrees. Measure of angle B is unknown. Okay, well, we'll just call that X. And the measure of angle C is twice the measure of angle A. Oh, well, what's twice the measure of angle A? 48. 24 plus 48, right? So all we have to do is write that down in an equation, and we're ready to go. All right, so here we go. We got angle A, which is 24 degrees. So 24 plus angle B, which is unknown. So I'll just call that B for now. I was going to call it X, but I'll just stick with B. Plus twice the measure of angle A, which is 2 times 24, equals 90 degrees because they're complementary. So we got 24 plus B plus 48, because 2 times 24 is 48, equals 90. And then 24 plus 48 is 72. So you got B plus 72 equals 90. And then last but not least, subtract 72 from both sides, and you get your answer. B equals 90 minus 72, which is 18. So we'll go ahead and see if those are in our drop-down menus. Next question. Ooh, parallel lines. Lines A, B, and C, D are parallel if the measure of angle 3 measures 3x plus 20, and the measure of angle 4 measures 70. Which equation could be used to solve for x? I don't even need line CD to do this. Line CD is it's just completely irrelevant in this problem. Angle 3 and angle 4 make up a straight line. They're both on line AB. Line AB is divided into just those 2 angles right here, line 3 and 4. So they make 180 degrees. So 3x plus 20 is line 3. 70 degrees is line 4. Those 2 added together make 180. Which of these says that 3x plus 20 plus 70 equals 180? 3x plus 20 plus 60? No. 3x plus 20 plus 70, that's this one down here, equals 180. Next one. The diagram here, the measure of angle COD is 127 degrees, like it says in the diagram. If angle COF and FOE are complementary angles, that means they add up to 90. Okay, so COF and FOE are complementary. COF is right there, and FOE. Notice they already put the right angle symbol for COE, because angle COF combined with angle FOE makes angle COE. And they put the little 90-degree symbol there because COF and FOE are complementary. That means they make a right angle. And then it says COD and COF are supplementary. You got COD and COF, they're supplementary. Of course they are. They make a straight line. If you have 2 angles that make a straight line, of course they're supplementary. And again, it says that in here, okay? If multiple adjacent angles form a straight line, or straight angle, if you will, then the sum of their measures is 180 degrees. That's what that says. And 2 angles are supplementary if their sum of their measures is 180 degrees. So COF and COD make 180 degrees. So what's the measure of FOE? FOE is this one. We know FOE plus COF is 90, and we know COF plus 127 is 180. So let's find COF and then say that FOE plus COF is 90. So let's start by finding COF. Okay, so angle COF, I'm just going to call that X for now. Okay, let's do that. All right, so the measure of angle COF is X. Let's call it that. Then X plus 127 equals 180. Then I could subtract 127 from both sides. So X equals 53. So the measure of angle COF, that's this part right here, COF is 53 degrees. That is right here, COF. That's 53 degrees. Okay, 53 degrees. Next, we're going to find FOE now because COF and FOE are complementary. They make 90-degree angles. So FOE. Those make 90 degrees together, the pink one and the blue one. We just found out the pink one is 53 degrees, so this is 53 degrees. Pardon my mouse writing. That's really ugly, but you get the point. That looks like a 5 now. I shouldn't have done that. 53 degrees. That's 53, 53, 53. 53 plus the blue one equals 90. So I'm going to call this Y now. This is angle Y. So here we go. Y plus 53 equals 90. Subtract 53 from both sides, and you get Y equals 47. Excuse me, 37. And we're good to go. So 37 right there. There's your answer. One more to go. If A, B, and C, D are parallel, or it doesn't say if, it says they are. Lines A, B, and CD are parallel. If angle 3 measures 2x plus 10 degrees and angle 1 measures 150 degrees, what is the value of x? Well, where's angle 3? Right here. Where's angle 1? Right there. You don't need line CD for this. Again, you have two angles that make up a straight angle, okay? Make up a straight line. So they're supplementary. So 1 plus 3. Angle 1, the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 3 equals 180 degrees. Measure of angle 3 is 2x plus 10. The measure of angle 1 is 150. Those two added together make 180. So write an equation that says so. Here we go. 2x plus 10 plus 150 equals 180. Okay, so 2x plus 10 is angle 3. That's angle 3. 150, that's angle 1. And those two together have to be 180 because they make a straight line. So add those combined like terms. 50 and 110 is 160. Or excuse me, 10 and 150 is 160. So 2x plus 160 equals 180. Subtract 160 from both sides, and you get 2x equals 20. And divide both sides by 2, you get x equals 10. That's it. All right, let me know if you have any other trouble with this. Work hard. Please use the lessons that Study Island provides. They also have a video that will do a lot of good explaining of this concept as well. You've got multiple resources at your disposal, written examples, my videos, these videos. You got more than enough resource, and please reach out if you need help.